When it comes to ScapeCon 3, I was there Wednesday. I didn't play much because my brain was fried. Again, just the Peru trip really exhausted me. I was sick for most of it, and all the driving and stuff traveling had to do, it just wore me out. So it's just like I got there late that Wednesday, and then I just hung out, and then played all day Thursday. But I will say this, that I'm really glad, even if it was just for a day and a half, I'm really glad I went to ScapeCon this year, because you feel the energy from the place. You get that positivity of being there, and it kind of revives you a little bit. It's just like you look around and you see everything going on, and you're with people that you enjoy being with. You're celebrating a game you love playing, and you're just like, yeah, I need this. It's just it's being part of that community, and meeting new people, because I met a lot of new people that was their first ScapeCon, and yeah, I enjoyed every second of being there when it came to that. And what more can I say? I mean, oh yeah, I can mention that because someone asked, I think it was the person that I don't know their name, asked in like I did a live stream last Wednesday, and I was talking about ScapeCon a little bit. I was asking about the coaching, because one of the new things they did this year that they haven't done is like with Ken Williams, Matthias Maccabees, and Mike OEAO, and a few others, did a coaching session, like a segment. We went off into a room, and they just started talking competitive Heroscape play and how to improve your game. And even though my brain was fried after playing the game all day and just everything else going on, I was just fried and tired. It was still very, I mean, I wish I would have recorded some. I didn't, but they did a great job with that, and I think that's something that they should do a lot more in the future. Jeremy was there, and I even think after that coaching night, because that was Thursday night, Jeremy's game, I think, improved. After listening through that, I know I noticed his wins were just a bit better the following days. So yeah, there was and I think when it came to competitive play, one of the things that Ken said that stood out to me the most was that for squads, to keep a good army, I mean, try to keep things simple, and I think out of like a squad of 3, have 4 squads, or a squad of 4 have 3 3 squads, because if you have too few squads, and they probably not going to make much of a difference. And they were talking about also being aggressive, when to be aggressive, when to pull back your armies in a game, and those scenarios. And it was like listening to Casters of Valhalla, but just on steroids. Just all.
It's like just a one-on-one.
It was Casters of Valhalla one-on-one. They were right there in front of you, and we had boards, and we had miniatures there for them to show examples. And I think like on Heroscape.org, I think maybe only 3 or 4 people signed up. There was like at least 6 to a dozen people in that room. So yeah, I think that was pretty successful, and yeah, they did a good job. Oh, and shout out to if you don't know this this website, it is a good resource because I used it for building my armies for ScapeCon. But Heroscape.org, Chris Perkins, who is actually the champion of ScapeCon this year as well, designed this website, and it is just superb. if you can for him. So what are your thoughts then about? I was talking about ScapeCon 3. Briefly, talk about Scape because you were there. I was there for a day and a half. You were there for the whole thing.
I did the whole thing. I actually played pretty much. I only dropped one event this year. I'm very proud of myself.
Wow.
Because last year I was not ready for the rigors of ScapeCon. I will definitely put it out there for everyone that's interested, and I mean, absolutely look into going if you have the opportunity to do so. But be prepared; it is a lot.
Yes,
and I mean a lot.
You play
of
10
Heroscape.
plus rounds.
You play so many games,
and it's
you play so many games. It will cook your brain so quick. Like, and I don't know if it's just
as dry this time though.
Yeah. No, it actually rained a lot this time around. We had a big heavy storm come in a couple times, so it wasn't dry, but
less headaches.
Right, yeah, less headaches, but still that rigor of the game. You know, keeping up the competition, keeping up the scoring, doing the points. I mean, me being a fool, of course. I was drafting my armies the day before. That was a choice. Yes, that was a choice. I absolutely accept it. But that was the thing. I had procrastinated a little bit, and I was like, oh man, I gotta get these things done. And so here am I drafting armies the day before. Definitely don't want to do that next year, but we'll see. Well, we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's a lot of heavy work. But if you're willing to push through it and just like enjoy it for the experience it is, oh my gosh, it's still one of the best things I get to go to.
Yeah.
Huge shout out to OEAO and his
Mike.
his dad. Everybody that puts out because there's Matthias Maccabeus, he helps run events. There's Vidar, Brianna, all of them, all the people that get involved and have put their effort to watch those events, judge the events, plan the prizes. Huge shout out to you all, because I mean, it is seriously one of the best events I get to go to every year. I look forward to it now. I've only been twice, but that's like a pinnacle experience of my year, and that's all thanks to y'all, the effort you all do. So hopefully that. Hopefully I appreciate it, and I know a ton of Heroscapers appreciate it. So thank you, and yes, definitely check it out, because I know the number limitations. It makes sense from a logistic reason. I totally understand why we have to put a cap, but we didn't hit cap this year. We hit. It was 64 people came in, and I think a few weren't able to make it for the whole thing. But yeah, 64 people out of the cap of 72. So there was still opportunity for others to show up, and I mean the room is pretty sizable. I don't really, as far as space issues, I didn't.
The events were managed a lot
this
better
year.
this
I mean.
year, too. With Heroscape.org. So.
Yeah, ScapeCon is a growing process, and the thing is, it's like everything that happened wrong last year, they learned from and they improved this year, and it's just going to keep going like that. Every time they find something that they can improve on, they're going to do that, and next year will always be better than the last one. You can see the progress. With the prize table, they changed everything with that. They used ScapeCon.org to assign digital points, and instead of giving out tickets, and so it was a lot cleaner system. People were able to get prizes. I'm super happy with the prize I got.
Show it off.
There
you go.
Oh, get out!
Yeah.
Wow.
I won this at ScapeCon.
You're not opening that, are you?
I'm okay. So I'm having a hard time. Okay, and I'll explain real quick why. Because I don't want to open this, but at the same time, Sir Gilbert is one of the best flag bearers in the game.
Yes.
With the bonding.
How valuable that's going to be in like 10 years. How insanely
But I need to play him. This is the worst thing
Get
ever.
a proxy. Get a proxy.
He with the knights, and then the Frostborn Paladin. The bears that are coming out next year. He bonds with them. Like, this is one of the best flag bearers out there. And I'm like, in tack box, mind you, with the pricing and everything.
The original price on the thing.
Oh, I mean,
Isn't it $13?
It says $12.99. I was like, I wish. Like, back in the day, that's the old pricing.
Oh my god.
I'm pretty sure that's when they went on clearance or something, because like it used to be 20. So I guess there was a sale or something, and I'm like, man, if only.
Real briefly, talk about the one event that was coaching. Because
Oh, right.
Yeah, because I mean, my brain was pretty fried. I gave the best explanation I could for this podcast, but my brain was pretty fried when I was listening to everything. And I think it improved your game. So yeah, give a comment on that.
They got everybody. So in terms of Heroscape and in the gameplay and the competitiveness, right? There are players that have been doing it for a very, very long time. Very, very knowledgeable in the craft. Very, very knowledgeable in terms of like drafting and things like that. And then scenario development. So they decided to set aside it was like about a 3-hour event during the evening portion of Thursday, where you could get coached by these players that have played competitions for years now. And I mean, it was a really nice, kind of like round table, I guess would be the best way to describe it. Everyone sat around and they didn't really play a game so much as they like showed very specific scenarios. Like okay, in this case you would want to do this, in case you want to do this. But they pointed out some really important things, talking about getting height as soon as possible. Height advantage, don't mess around with height advantage. And I felt that a lot, especially during this year. A lot of my games I knew I would lose because I lost the chance to get height advantage. And it was just that simple bonus in defense and attack that was costing me my wins and things like that. So they were talking about, was it predicting what your opponent is going to do, trying to match their movements and like think like them, think what they would try to do, and then find a way to counteract that in the time that you're given. And it was just all kinds of stuff like that. They were just really, really good at pointing out the very specific, in terms of like, drafting, in terms of, when you have a ranged character versus a melee character,
right.
In what case do you do, if you were playing a full melee army and you're about to get shot down, what do you do to prevent all those deaths? And all that, those really cool scenario moments. And I thought, yeah, they did a great job. I want to say that I think it would be really cool if they did like some sort of tutorial series, if possible, because I think they have the ability to really point out some of the more troublesome parts of Heroscape.
Right.
No, overall, good stuff. I thought it was a really cool coaching session.
Yeah, I want to see it next year. I hope they do it next year. Maybe do like a night or two of it,
Right, and just get people involved.
Yeah,
I know I brought up... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I definitely record it next year, I think.
Yeah. No, I brought up wanting to do Heroscape trivia, like a trivia thing, like a Jeopardy thing. So for those that don't want to... Like if somebody wants a break from the game, they can come and see test the Heroscape lore, see if they can beat me. But I don't know.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, because I remember they were talking about last year that they were going to try to do something this year, and it didn't happen. And so I asked Vidar about it, and he said, hey, if you want to spearhead that, let me know. And I'm like, you know what? If I really am able to go next year, I'll definitely think about doing something. That way, like as much as I love Heroscape, I'll play it all the time. Not everyone is set up to play. Or what was it? How many games did I play? 38. I played 38 games.
Jesus.
Yeah, man. I know not everyone is down for that. So, like, kind of providing separate activities.
Next year, I'm probably going to do that. I'm probably going to do as much as I can.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's worth trying. It's worth trying. And like I said, I dropped one event this year. Because last year I dropped I think I had to drop like at least 1 or 2 events a day. But this year I only dropped one event in its entirety, and because I knew it was like I had to draft 4 armies of 450 points each, and I just did not have the brain power for it. I was like, nah. Oh no, I know what it was. It was 4 armies of 450 points each, but they had to be bad armies because you were actually going to swap them with your opponent. So it's called Kill Your Swill.
Reverse the whip.
No. It's called Kill Your Swill.
Oh, okay.
So you purposely create a terrible army, so you swap it with your opponent, and then you have to play each other with the bad armies.
Yo, that's
and I was like, it sounded fun, but I was like, I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to draft this, and I didn't want to potentially draft something good, so I was like, I'm gonna step out from this one and kind of recuperate for the Sunday match. But
I gotta do that with Glenn. He's gonna love that.
Yeah. No, you can check it. I think the rules are still up on the ScapeCon forum, the page.
Oh,
so
I gotta look into that.
You can read how they did it and then follow through. I heard a lot of silly matchups. The guy, oh man, I can't remember his name off the top of my head. The guy that comes with that bucket of Dumatef cards.
Yeah, someone. Roy says someone brought
was
42 Dumatefs.
Yeah. Somebody like that guy did that for one of his Kill the Swill armies, and you had to play with 42 Dumatefs, and it was just an obnoxious amount of Dumatef guards that had just. It was like, how do you play this at all? You can only move like one a turn, and there's 42 of them.
You're moving 3 around.
It was so bad, man.
Yeah.
It was so bad. But yeah, no, that was the only event I dropped out of. I did everything else. Played as much. I think I kept a consistent like wins of 1/3 of the games I participated in. So I'm proud of myself. I feel like I did much better this year than I did last year. I was able to earn the flag bearer because of that, and yeah. So I hope to improve even more next year. And just keep trying to. Obviously, no Chris Perkins here, obviously, but huge shout out to that guy because that guy's brain is insane.
Yeah.
I don't even. I played him once. And I felt like I was doomed forever. Like that was just. I was like, how long can I beat? Like, how long can I live?
I played
like,
against him
that was what I wanted to do.
last year, I think. I think it was once.
Oh
or
no,
twice last year.
he's ScapeCon champion this year. I can't remember if he got ScapeCon champ last year, but that guy knows Scape like it's. Oh my goodness! I mean, he's rattling off numbers like he knows exactly what stats go into what, and he knows your stats before you can even think about it. He'd be like, "That's for attack, right?"
Yeah.
And I was like, oh gosh, how did you know? Like he doesn't even have to look at the cards. He knows this unit has this much attack. This unit has this much attack of height. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's amazing to watch, but terrifying to play against. Because then you're like, oh my gosh, this is it. This is Skynet. This is.